You know, you don't have to be who you were yesterday, right? You don't have to be who they remember you as. You don't have to be who you've always been. You don't even have to be who you said you were going to be. Like, you get to change, because guess what? Nobody else is waking up in your body but you. Sometimes it's like the most obvious things are the hardest lessons for us to grasp. There were so many changes I wanted to make for some weird reason, like just didn't feel like I had the permission to make those changes. I felt like I was shackled by the image that people expected me to be. This is gonna sound so ridiculous, and if you don't understand it, don't judge me, but if you understand it, you'll get it. When I was in college, I was talking about this as it related to my weight, but I wasn't vulnerable enough to admit that when I said I wanted to change, that's what I meant. But I was just saying, like, I really want to change certain things about myself, and I want to grow and improve and be better. I remember saying the words, but I can't because people expect me to be this and I'm that. And what I meant was people expect me to be in this body because that's what they've known me as. And I felt almost like I'd be betraying them if I occupied a different body. I am recording, but I'm in your bathroom. Surprise! Welcome to my channel.
You guys, love you.
Love you. Like, literally imagine me feeling like people were entitled to tell me how my body is supposed to look. Like, something as intimate as literally the body that I occupy. I felt I didn't have permission to change that because that would betray who people know me as. It's crazy. Like, this was my freshman year of college. I remember verbalizing that. I just thought I was weird. That's why I've never talked about it before, because I thought maybe I'm just weird and, you know, other people don't struggle with that. But then I read this book. I actually haven't finished it. I'm the queen of like reading 20% of a book and then talking about it as if I have finished it. Not that I'm lying. It's just like in my mind, I feel like I got it. But anyway, I started reading this book, Psycho-Cybernetics, and I actually would love to finish it because I just feel like I've learned so much already. It's a book kind of about manifestation, but in a more scientific way, which I love. The author, surprisingly enough, is a plastic surgeon. And he talks about how he had these clients who would come to him and claim that their nose is just terrible and it's the ugliest thing in the world, and that everything in life will just be better when they get a nose job, and that they'll be so much happier, they'll feel so much better about themselves, and basically like their nose is the thing standing in the way of them achieving their life's dreams. Like, they would really think that. I'm not ridiculing that, by the way. Like, I get that because I felt like that about my body for the longest time. He would have two types of clients: the ones that would get a nose job and then almost like assume a completely different identity. Like, they would literally become that girl because they felt better about themselves. And because they felt better about themselves, they would attract that type of treatment from people. They literally stepped into this identity of being a brand new person. So in those cases, you can argue that the nose, or their perception of their nose rather, was the barrier. But then, this was the part that was crazy, there was the second subset of people who would get the nose job and then look in the mirror and truly think that nothing has changed. And this blew his mind because he would show them before and after pictures. Like, what do you mean? Look at your nose before and look at it after. You got what you wanted. But because their self-image, their self-concept never changed, they were still able to look in the mirror and think that they were ugly, or think that there was something defective about their face. So that's what really got the author, you know, in this work of self-image, and how self-image impacts the way that you live your life and impacts the way that you're able to manifest and attract the things that you want. I bring that up because if self-image is the thing that creates your reality, and in my case, if my self-image felt tied and shackled to and dependent on the way other people saw me, then it would just create a reality where I could never be something that someone didn't see in me. And that was just so debilitating. Like, the analogy that comes to mind for me is like those marionette dolls where, you know, you're pulling on the strings of the hand and the head and the legs, and people are just kind of pulling you and pushing you in so many different directions. And I think for the longest time, I felt like that. Like, I truly believed that I needed to wait for other people to see something in me before I could see it in myself. I don't know why it dawned on me literally recently. I keep joking that everything changes when you turn 30, and I really think it's true. Like, I just stopped caring about certain things. But it dawned on me recently that, like, I don't have to be who people think I'm supposed to be. I don't have to be who I said I was. I don't have to be the things that I said I cared about at any point in my life. Like, okay, I cared about that yesterday, now I don't, so I've changed my mind. And that was one of the most liberating realizations I've had in my life, is that Every single day, I can literally wake up and decide to be someone different who cares about something different. I can conceptualize a life and a reality for myself that other people don't see for me. I don't need to wait for them to see that for me to see it for myself. And so quotes that people have shared in the past around like, don't share your vision with everybody. Not everyone is meant to see it. Like, it makes so much more sense to me now, because I'm like, oh, that's true. Because like sometimes when you share it, something dies in you a little bit when you see people's blank stares. And it's not because you don't believe in yourself. It's because there's a certain energy attached to the things that you desire and to the visions that you hold. And if you share that energy with the wrong people, it's kind of like, imagine like finding this amazing delicacy that's not sold anywhere, and you have to go out of your way to get it, and you like share it with certain people and they just don't like it or don't appreciate it or don't think it tastes good. It's like, it doesn't make you question that it tastes phenomenal. It just makes you regret ever sharing it with them. And that's how I've started to approach my ambitions. Even with people in my life who I love so much, I just understand that like people didn't get the vision that I got. I got that vision and I'm meant to understand it, but not everybody's meant to understand it. And that has been liberating. What do you want to be true about your life? What do you want to be true about you, in your identity, in your personality? How can you create that? How can you start to manifest that and see that in yourself? How can you start to protect that image from people who don't see that in you, so that you don't feel the need to show up as someone else in front of those people? How can you spend less time around people who don't bring that out of you or make you feel like that part of you is suppressed? One identity that I'm stepping into as we speak is not the girl who messes up her lip liner. I'm choosing to believe that I'm changing my life drastically. Like, I'm choosing to believe that I'm someone who in this here moment is completely transforming her life. And that is not a belief system for the weak. I mean, as someone who used to be a skeptic, and in some ways, you know, depending on what, I still am a skeptic, but I know for a fact, as someone who is choosing to believe that I'm transforming my life, I'm going to surround myself around people who also believe they're transforming their lives. I'm going to avoid conversations with people who are skeptical, with people who follow the invisible rules of society. Like, I have people like that in my life who I love, and I'm not saying I'm cutting them off at all. I'm just not going to talk about my life goals with them. Why would I share that with them? They are people who choose to believe in the invisible rules. And in order for me to create the reality that I'm creating, I need to believe that the invisible rules are just invisible rules that I don't have to follow. Why would I share this intimate part of my life with someone who is going to eat the dessert, like I mentioned earlier, and not think it tastes that good, or think it's stupid, or think it's unhealthy? I don't want to share that with someone, because this is something that's sacred to me and that makes me feel excited and makes me feel motivated. And you know, these types of beliefs, my love, they are like that nose job that we talked about earlier. Is it the nose job that altered the person's reality, or is it their perception of themselves that altered their reality? Could they have arguably seen themselves a certain way without the nose job, maybe, or without losing weight, or whatever it is, and then from there attract the same reality because they believe in themselves? The same goes with my belief that I'm changing my life. Like, does that automatically make it true? Who knows? But I believe that the energy that I uphold with that belief is going to make it happen. So whatever you need to do to protect your belief system, to protect the energy around who you want to become, do that. You don't need to share that with people. You definitely don't need their permission. And you definitely don't need anyone else to see it in you before you see it in yourself. I love you so much. Let me not mess this up. Stay powerful, my love.